Welcome to Girls Gone Hallmark, a Hallmark review podcast. I'm Megan, and I'm a longtime Hallmark fan.
I'm Wendy. I'm a former Hallmark hater.
On today's episode, we are discussing Oh Little Christmas Market, which originally aired on the Hallmark Channel on Saturday, July 11th, and is now streaming on Hallmark Plus. You can keep up with us over on Instagram, where we are Girls Gone Hallmark, for all the latest announcements about our schedule, Hallmark late-breaking news, little peeks behind the Girls Gone Hallmark curtain occasionally over there.
Occasionally.
Yep.
We also have a Facebook page that, once again, y'all delivered over the weekend.
Right?
What's happening?
I don't know.
I don't understand.
All of a sudden.
Look, I'll take it. You know, maybe there's just a population of people that have their Facebook open while watching this movie and they just want to weigh in.
Maybe. Yeah. If you're Facebook over Instagram, you can get all of that over on our Facebook page as well, which is, of course, Girls Gone Hallmark.
Did you watch this movie?
I know what you're going to ask me. Yes, I did. I watched it not live, but recorded from television.
So you got to see Biltmore's previews? What did you think?
I had the exact same reaction I just had right now. I was like, first of all, I think it's stunningly beautiful. Mm-hmm. It made me very excited for the movie. And I have always loved Holland Roden. I like her a lot. I think she looks so perfectly timeless in this movie. The costuming and the hair. I'm excited. What are you thinking?
I'm very excited, but I have some reservations.
Oh.
Only because I love the original so much. And I know this isn't like a reboot or a redo or a whatever. It's going to have its own story. So I'm looking forward to that. But I just love the original so much that I'm like, how's that going to land for me? The second thing is, in the preview that I saw, there's this Holland Roden kind of like dazes off. And I couldn't help but think about her character in Holidays, who I did not like very much.
Oh, no.
So but I loved her in the Bills movie last year. So I'm just.
And in that Dial One for Murder movie.
Yes, you're right. So I'm just carrying this like Holidays PTSD around with me for, I don't know why.
Yeah,
Don't know why.
I hear you. My goal is to let this movie stand alone and not be like, but it's not Chris, but it's not, there's no Bethany Joy Lenz moment.
Yeah.
And the preview was bringing it for me. So I'm looking forward to it very much.
The other thing that I noticed that I thought was really funny is that Hallmark was promoting the hell out of next week's movie, but not next week's movie, the preview you're going to see during next week's movie, which is the Tyler Hines Christmas movie.
That is funny.
Did you not notice it?
I didn't see that because mostly I fast forwarded through commercials. It was only the Biltmore commercials that I watched.
Yeah, it was like on the bottom, what's that called? Cryon or whatever?
Oh, Chiron. Yes.
Chiron, that's the word.
I try and ignore that because it's so distracting. But yes.
I know, but it was like next week. Don't miss next week's movie will be the preview of The Nights Before Christmas or whatever it's called. It's something like that. And I'm like, that's the Tyler Hines movie. Like they know their audience.
You know who wrote that, by the way?
No, I don't.
Russell Hainline.
Oh, I'm so excited. Mm-hmm. That makes me excited. No, let's talk a movie that I'm not so excited about.
Let's hear a synopsis of Oh Little Christmas Market.
An artist fights to save her town's beloved Christmas market from a developer, but a budding romance with the architect tied to the deal may bring about a Christmas miracle.
Time for everyone's favorite segment, News and Notes. Mars.
It's getting longer.
Mars Horodisky directed Oh Little Christmas Market. She's an Emmy-nominated director for Ghostwriter. Mars has also directed 10 episodes of Workin' Moms, along with several Hallmark-style films.
Natasha Barron and Ryan Peckinpah share writing credit. Barron has 8 previous TV movie writing credits, while Peckinpah previously wrote Hallmark's A 90s Christmas from 2024.
Catherine Burrell stars as Olivia. Hallmark fans last saw her in Christmas Baby and 2 episodes of Mistletoe Murders in 2025. She also starred in A 90s Christmas.
Stephen Huszar plays Grayson. With 4 upcoming projects on deck, we last saw Stephen earlier this year in To Philly with Love.
Paula Boudreau plays Olivia's mom, Lenore, with 69 acting credits. You may recognize her from Hallmark's Autumn at Apple Hill and Take Me Back for Christmas.
Kent Sheridan plays Grayson's dad, Bill. His Hallmark work includes Chesapeake Shores and Operation Nutcracker.
Anne Pornell plays friend Zoe. This is her first Hallmark project, but has appeared in the series Private Eye, which streams on Hallmark Plus.
Oh Little Christmas Market was originally titled A Miniature Christmas and was filmed in 2024.
Interesting. 2024.
Why? What are your thoughts on that?
Well, that makes me think this is an acquisition.
I believe it is. Or it's been like shelved for some time. Who know? I don't know. Well, who knows? I tried to do some Googling, but couldn't find a ton other than it was made in 2024.
All right. Well, Wendy, what was your first impression of Oh Little Christmas Market?
What in the 4th grade California mission diorama is going on here?
Oh, no. Wendy's bringing the heat right up top. My first impression is this week Hallmark was determined to make me shout, "That's not mistletoe, it's holly," repeatedly.
Oh, wait, what? You're going to have to tell me when that happened because I don't even remember.
I will.
Okay. Do you want to talk about what we liked?
I do.
I have a few. Right up top, I have to admit, as someone who loves a dollhouse and tiny furniture, there was something oddly charming about Olivia's work. I may have questioned whether there's a market for this art of hers, but I was drawn to the tiny details, like when she made that miniature version of her dad. Like that made me, made me feel something. I'm not all terrible, guys.
Well, I kind of think she captured the essence of all the miniature people.
It made me wonder.
I say she, as if, but yeah.
If she did it. I was like, are they 3D printing those? What's happening? Show me the process behind that. I'm curious in that.
Yeah, I agree, because the miniature people were my favorite of the miniatures. That's clearly her dad. That's clearly Grayson. That's Zoe. I thought I liked the people.
The Zoe replica was spot on.
Yes.
And the Grayson, too, to be quite honest. I have some thoughts on that in a little bit. But how is she making those?
I would like to know as well.
I was very curious. Also, this movie, it is the dead of summer here in Southern California and everywhere else, except for Australia. Hey, Shannon.
And everywhere else in the Southern Hemisphere.
Yeah. I'm kind of drawn to where the Christmas market's going to be in my neck of the woods this holiday season. I told myself, I said, I'm going to make a list of Christmas markets. I love a Christmas market.
Me too.
I like to walk around and look at stuff and buy stuff and drink a hot cider or cocoa or whatever.
Me too.
They're just few and far between where we're at. So I was going to start compiling a list so I could hit a bunch of them this holiday season before the season gets away from me. You know what I mean?
Yes.
We went to Boston several years ago and went to the best Christmas market I've ever been to. It was wonderful. So that was so much fun. And then I told my husband this weekend, because we were at the Sawdust Festival, which is a artist market. And then they have a Christmas version too during the holiday season. But I was telling him about this movie and the Christmas market. And he goes, hey, why don't we just go on one of those river cruises and go stop at all the Christmas markets? And I was like,
stop. I'm so jealous.
Not this year, but maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Well, it's on my 2029 calendar. You've been invited to join us on our river cruise.
Give me some of your likes.
Okay, so I think what this movie does best is focuses on the sense of community. And I think it happens in 2 different ways. One, it's kind of obvious in a large scale way, the Christmas market, They talk about how important this market is to the community, and then the people within the market support each other, and they support Olivia, and they support the idea of the market, and then
so much support.
So much support. And then the local businesses rally around to collect money, right? So I think I like that. On a smaller scale, I was really drawn to the mom, Lenore, is that her name in this movie? Telling the story of how when they purchased this house that's now the B&B, it was very run down, and they pitched to the buyer like, hey, we'll restore this place to its former glory. There's something about that story, I don't know, but it stuck with me. And then they kind of created their own little community within, like, let's share this lovely B&B with our guests, and they've created this warm, lovely place within it. That was working for me.
I have some thoughts on the mom. She's going to come up in my wishes.
Okay.
Actually liked her character, but I have a slight beef with the character as well.
Can't wait to hear it.
Get to it. There was a running storyline in this. It came from Grayson's dad, who was like, we built this on tradition. Tradition is the only acceptable answer. I hate that narrative. If somebody comes to me and goes, this is the way we've always done it.
Yeah.
I want to rip your head off. I cannot stand that. So I liked that we get a little bit of movement away from that. Olivia is trying to embrace like a future, like she is also tied to the people of the market and wanting to help them, but like also trying to pivot that both can exist. Like the new building business building they're gonna
Yeah.
whatever.
She's not like just like, don't tear it down. She's trying to compromise.
Yes. Yes. So I could appreciate that it wasn't blindly never change. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Two more other small likes. I really liked Olivia's red holiday dress.
Oh,
when she
me
comes to that
too.
party. I like that. It was giving Jessica McClintock. If you know, you know. Really love that off the shoulder.
Yes, me
Sparkle.
too.
Loved it. I also thought that I enjoyed Catherine and Stephen together. I hated his character, though, of Grayson. I wanted to shake him and be like, stand up to your dad.
Oh, yeah.
Where's your moral compass? If his business values don't align with yours, you need to break free. Like, you need to do your own thing. You are successful in your own right. Step away, sir.
Yeah, at one point he's like, the difference between you and I is I'm not allowed to do my own thing. And I was like, sir, you are a grown man. What do you mean not allowed?
You are 40. Come on. What's happening here? I didn't like that. If he was like 22 and fresh out of college, okay, I could see how he maybe hadn't established himself in a career yet. And so therefore he has to do what his dad wants him to do. But
Yes, he's certainly employable outside of his father's business.
exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, so I want to talk about these two actors. And lovely mailman Steve over in our Facebook group posted huzzah for Huzar. I'm not going to read the entire thing, but if you're in our Facebook group, you can. But he says, I think this is his best performance in a while. Maybe it was the writing or the direction, but his character was much more compelling than many of his recent roles. Steve goes on to say, the true star of this film is Catherine Burrell. Every scene she was in was so nuanced. Her performance elevated the story. Throughout the movie, her dialogue seemed tropey, yes, but Catherine delivered it in a way that seemed both effortless and sincere. Now, I think sometimes what happens on Hallmark is these movies become self-fulfilling prophecies for the actors. Like, if we get Stephen and Catherine in an acquisition, which maybe isn't up to the standard of 2026 Hallmark in some ways, like isn't pushing the envelope, then what the audience sees and what Hallmark sees is like these two people existing within like a perfectly fine, by the book, tropey script. Mm-hmm. And they're not given the opportunity to be the Tyler and Lacey J. Mailey and Russell Hainline's holiday movie. So I think it's like, at some point, Catherine, I would argue, has been given that opportunity, especially with A Christmas Baby. I thought she was great in that. But Stephen has been so relegated to these, like, you know, Jane Mysteries, which was a Hallmark Plus exclusive for a while, right? Like, kind of side burner things. And so,
Yeah.
sometimes I think it's hard for us to see what these actors can really do. Like, we don't really let them cook, so to speak. I don't really know if that's a like or a wish. It's just something I was thinking about. But to wrap up my likes, I do want to call out some lines I liked. When he says, "Is it Miss or Mrs. Train Station Companion?"
Yeah, I love that.
And then Olivia says, "What, interior decorator for the Mouse King and the Nutcracker?" These just made me laugh.
I thought there were some good lines too.
Let's take a quick break and we will come right back to discuss our wishes. All right, Wendy, what did you wish for in O Little Christmas Market?
Well, I hate to say it, but I have a ton of wishes.
Okay.
My first one is justice for Archie. Let this man retire. He wants to sell the lot. He wants to retire. He wants to hang out with his grandchildren. It is earned. Like, I was sympathizing with this guy that they wanted us to root against. Maybe it's because my parents are this man's age and my dad just sold his business. Like, you know, there's a lot of responsibility when you're a business owner because you employ all these people or whatever, but let the man retire.
It's Christmas Eve. Let him go home.
I hated that Olivia was so like, but my dad created this market and whatever. Here's my next beef. Why can't you find another
Oh my gosh.
property to put this market on? We have a farmer's market situation in my neighborhood every other week, and it sets up in the school parking lot.
Yes.
You can't find a lot in this neighborhood that this Christmas market can set up in. I don't understand. The solution is so easy.
Yes. This took me out of the movie so much because I just kept saying, this makes no sense. Like, move it anywhere. And there she was like, oh yeah, our stalls are run down. Go to Costco and buy a folding table. Nobody cares what your stall looks like. Put a
pop-up tent and a folding table.
Yeah, a folding table and a Christmassy tablecloth over it and set up your stuff. Just like they do at every other crafty market that I go to. You know, there's one in my neighborhood every other weekend. Have it outside the freaking B&B. My gosh, this is not a problem that needs solving. You do not need to rent space.
Yeah, that's so interesting because they have these permanent structures or whatever that they were selling out of, right? Their little stalls.
Yeah, but they're not permanent because only open 6 weeks out of the year, so they put them away.
Oh, yeah.
And can I say, I did not root for the shipping container market idea.
All I wrote down in my notes is WTF. A shipping container?
Like, I think there's a place for it. I understand, but it just is not giving like the classic Christmas market vibe to put them in these like gritty industrial containers.
I'm trying to rack my brain to figure out where I've ever seen a shipping container converted to like a marketplace type where you would go for a transaction. And I cannot think of anywhere.
It also doesn't really make a whole lot of sense because like the whole purpose of it to me is like you're out in the open air, you're walking around. Like, I thought they were solving a problem that didn't exist by bringing in the shipping containers. And the other thing that
aesthetically, a shipping container.
Agree. It's not like the industrial kind of gritty look that they were going for. And the other thing is, they're building this building. Like, why couldn't you just have like, you don't need to spend any money, just a plaza out front where they roll out their tables every weekend or every week or 6 weeks during the holidays or whatever it is. And then they roll it back away. It doesn't even need to be a permanent structure. This is a problem that doesn't exist.
Yeah, totally. That's what I was thinking too. I'm like, they're going to build this multi-million-dollar building here, and then you're going to have these shipping containers out in this plaza. Why wouldn't you build like a more permanent structure that could be used at like a multifunctional space that's not a shipping container?
Yes.
Because I did like her idea of like, oh, we could use this, you know, for classes or whatever. I'm not going into a shipping container for a class.
No, just make it like if it's this big industrial or not like commercial building, right? This office building, you have this like outdoor plaza area. Now, if it's somewhere wintry, this is not actually the most functional thing, but we're under the assumption that they can exist in this outdoor market. So we'll go with it. And it can be like, you know, the workers come down and sit by the fountain and eat their lunch. And during the summer, they have like food carts. You know, you have like a summer market and a Christmas market. And you maybe have like a little covered area where you're like, oh, we can do classes here just so it's useful for everybody. Mm-hmm. And fits the vibe. Let Grayson design it.
That was my other kind of moment where I was like, oh, this architect Grayson is co-signing on this shipping container idea.
God, when they started running with the shipping containers, I was like, what are we doing? And then they start fundraising to get the shipping containers there. I was like, we have gone so far off the rails here, folks.
I agree. Agree. My next wish is, it has to do with the mom. I liked the mom, but she was letting Olivia do everything and telling her she's doing you're doing amazing, sweetie. Like, Olivia's running. I don't know if she's actually running the Christmas market or she oversees the Christmas market or whatever it is, but
she got the binder.
Yeah, she got the binder. Plus the bed and breakfast, you know, she's on the phone and the fruitcake is burning and like, you can't be like, excuse me, I have to put you on hold. We have an emergency happening here. She's decorating. She's making her little art. I'm not trying to minimize her art, but she is making her art. Like, and her mom is just like, oh, you can do it all. Like, she was just giving her all these cliche sayings. It was making me hate the mom.
Well, and then at the end of the movie, she's like, honey, I can handle the B&B. Can you? Because why have you not stepped up until now?
You forgot to turn on the timer for the cake you burnt. You're going to burn the B&B down. Yeah, why hasn't she stepped up at all? Look, she's at a certain age too. Like, she's entitled to retire as well. But Olivia shouldn't have to do everything.
No, I think that's not really when her mom's like, no. I wanted her mom to be like, you know, we can bring someone in part-time because the mom is kind of headed towards retirement as well.
Mm-hmm. And finally, not my biggest wish, but classic Hallmark, Olivia's mad at Grayson. It just felt misplaced a little bit. Like, Grayson works for the company that's buying the property, and she's angry at the situation, but she really wants to take it out on somebody.
Oh, I completely forgot to mention, in my likes, I'm so sorry. I did enjoy the scene where she forces him to purchase from all the vendors and like, all of a sudden he's like wearing the scarf and the hat, like carrying all this. I thought that was cute. I am not going to lie. Yeah. But yes, I agree with you. Her anger was misplaced. And he was like, look, I can leave and they will just send someone else in who won't GAF about what you got going on here. And they'll just get the deal closed. So maybe you should dial it down, which is not what he says, but perhaps is what he should have said.
Totally.
My only other wish is, we talked about it up top. Grayson talks about not being allowed to leave the family business. And I was like, come on, you could leave, bro. Just because you're very like, my daddy will be mad at me. I mean, I understand not wanting to disappoint your parents, but not allowed is not what's going on here.
Yeah, they keep framing him as trapped.
Yes.
At some point, you got to own your choices.
Just leave.
Yeah. Be like, my values don't align with yours.
This isn't the job that I want to do. I support your business. I appreciate all the hard work you've put into it, but this isn't the job I want. I'm just so curious how many people end up in their family businesses.
Even though they don't want to be.
Yeah, but is that a real thing?
I'm sure it is. Ask your brother. I'll ask your brother.
So let's talk. Did you see that?
Okay. This is my one and only. And it's not a true did you see that? But after Olivia and Grayson meet at the train station, which I really enjoyed this scene, to be quite honest.
Me too.
Where they decorate the tree and then they have this thing, of course, like she leaves her card and he like grabs his briefcase and doesn't see it. And
satchel.
Yes. Actually, now talking about that scene, I was like, if you just met this dude that you like felt something with, wouldn't you miss your train? Wouldn't you be like, I'll take the next train. I'm going to like lock this in.
Yeah, I wouldn't go running off to catch the train while he's on the call. I would, like have a proper goodbye.
Yeah, exchange numbers.
Mm-hmm.
But she comes home and she makes like the miniature version of like that scene, and like it like steps away. It just felt very sort of like she made an altar to the scene.
Oh my.
I'm just saying, like, if you're Grayson and you're like,
and you walk in, you're like, that's me.
That's me. We met for a whole half an hour and now you made a little doll out of me. Like that.
And there's the weird tree we half and half decorated.
That was a weird decor choice, I thought. But yeah, I just laughed out loud. I just was like, I might have some questions if I saw somebody made a doll out of me.
Yes, agree. I'm just imagining you're the train station employee, though, and you set those ornaments out and you go to lunch and you come back and you're like, what the hell happened here?
Yeah. They're like, man, they're so busy here. Like, we should decorate this tree. And you're like, man, I just took a coffee break. I was on a smoke break in the bag. Jesus.
Okay, so I have two little did you see that's. One, look, it's going to be a long Christmas season, but as they're hanging mistletoe, and a lot of it, by the way, it's not mistletoe, it's holly. Holly has red berries, mistletoe has white.
Yeah, but I even think like the, fake holly is sold as mistletoe. Do you know what I mean? I think this is a common mistake.
It is a common mistake, but it's an irritating one.
For Megan.
I'm not the only one. I'm not the only one, I guarantee.
AF.
I know. But once you know, you can't unsee it. And it's actually in the next movie that we're going to review this week, although they address it. But as soon as it happens, I'm like, that's Holly.
Oh my gosh. She wants an accurate representation of Christmas.
It's not that hard. The other thing is, at the end of this movie, I'm trying to think of it doesn't matter. At the end of this movie, it's snowing without a cloud in the sky, which is my husband's personal, that's not mistletoe, it's holly. Like, he's like, pause, rewind, look at the blue sky. Where is the snow coming from? Doesn't need to be snowing just because it's the winter, guys, if you're filming in sunny blue skies.
Yeah. And this movie was supposed to take place in Philadelphia, which I thought was very interesting considering Stephen Huszar just did.
I did too.
So it could just be gray and cloudy, but it could also just be cold and sunny.
Yes. What did you rate A Little Christmas Market?
Well, I thought it was only slightly better than last week. I gave it 2 stars.
I gave it 2.5 stars.
What are we doing here, Christmas in July? Mark, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Question mark across my forehead right now.
Are you looking forward to this weekend's movie with Marcus and Vanessa?
I kind of am. I'm really hoping it could be a 5-star considering what we've watched the last 2 weeks.
Sure.
So, yeah, I hope so. I hope it's good.
Well, thanks for listening to this episode of Girls Gone Hallmark. We'll be back next time with more Hallmark reviews. Goodbye.
Bye.
All right, friends, before we go, just a quick heads up. You're about to hear some ads. These little gems help us keep the show running and the Hallmark love flowing. So do with that info what you will. Grab a snack, hit the skip button, or maybe, just maybe, listen in and discover your new favorite product.
Bye.